that being said, I'd like to turn it over to Juan Pablo Bouza. Hey, man, how are you doing?
Fine. Well, I'm just, I've never saw your video, your animation course. So that's the first time I see that video.
Oh, I can play another one. We've got a couple of videos in there. In fact, we have your course, the Vincent Timeline. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like what's in this video that we're going to watch from you here in a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we did that video. Vincent is a free character that you can get on Blender Cloud. And I did a whole video tutorial about how to rig a character with BlendRig, which is my rigging system, a step-by-step video series. But we decided to release this Vincent series for free, which is kind of an abbreviated version of the other series. So, yeah, well, it's a nice introduction. And for those who don't know this, this rigging system is the one that we use for Caminandes, Agent 327, Cosmos Landromat, and also the animations project. So, well, it's nice to see people using it. And I've already have, a lot of feedback from people, and I'm, sometimes happy to see that even, people that are just starting with animation and with Blender, get the hang of it and can rig their characters with, kind of professional results. So that's nice.
Okay, so with that, thank you, Juan. I'm going to play your video. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear it and see it.
Hello! This is Juan Pablo Bouza speaking, and you're watching the time-lapse about rigging Vincent. As you may already know, Vincent is a free character that you can download at the character library of the Blender Cloud. It was originally designed by Matias Mendiola, and it was modeled by Andy Goralczyk, and then it was rigged by me, using BlendRig 5. BlendRig 5 is a free add-on that you can download at the Blender Cloud, or you can also get the latest version at this address of gitlab.com. Once you downloaded the zip file, you can install BlendRig by going to File, User Preferences, Add-ons, Install from File, you select the zip file, and then you can enable the add-on. Recently, the PDF documentation about BlendRig, in which you will find a step-by-step guide about how to rig a character from scratch with BlendRig, was also made available for free on the Blender Cloud. So you can read that PDF file to get a better idea of how the rig works. And if you become even more interested in using BlendRig for your own projects, you can also sign up to the Blender Cloud, and there you will find several hours of training material with many step-by-step guides about how to rig your characters with this rig, among other things. Currently, BlendRig is only intended for film production, but in the near future I plan to do other presets of the rig, like for example a game engine ready rig, a quadruped rig, and even some vehicles rigs. So stay tuned to any news about the BlendRig project.
That was incredible. How do you rig that fast, Juan?
Oh.
And can you talk in that voice at all times?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, man. Hey, so that was an excellent video. I know you had to go very quickly through a lot of things, and I know that was about a year or so ago since you recorded that. But
yeah,
looking back on that video, how do you feel about it, and what's maybe changed in Blender that has improved the way you rig?
Oh, Nothing. It all gets worse. No, actually, it's not about Blender. Yeah, I don't know. Well, things are more or less the same right now. We've had a couple of additions in the master branch, so it's not official 2.78, but we have this surface deform modifier that you can use for clothing. But I think that I can see some usefulness for general rigging too. But well, I don't know. With rigging, you always kind of get the tools that the Blender gives you, and you just find new ways of mixing the tools and doing your own, techniques. Yeah, that's how.
Talk to me about Bendy Bones and stuff. You mentioned that a couple of times. I know even for our rigs, you talked about that.
Yeah. Well, Bendy Bones, I mean, they've been there for ages, but last year we did like some improvement to that with some ideas from Daniel Lara, and Allegory did all the coding as usual, because he's the coder of all the animation system. And well, now it's easier to work with that because you can choose which bones influence the start and end of the bendy bone without necessarily being related to each other, because earlier you had to, the bones had to be parented to each other, and now you can just choose. I think that the option is called bone handles or something like that. So you can choose a custom bone to, bend your deformation bone. Yeah, and well, along with other improvements that I don't remember right now. Well, we have like the options to twist and curve the bones now, in the UI. So that's a nice way of overriding the thing. But well, bendy bones for deformation are like really great because they let you achieve like organic deformations that would be, impossible or almost impossible with other techniques. So yeah, I mean, they are great, and I use bendy bones for the facial rig, as some saw in the video. So yeah, that's great. Oh, and about the videos, these are two videos. This was the first one, and the second one is about the face rig. And you can get them for free on the Blender Cloud. So if you want to, finish watching the thing, you have them there. And also Vincent is a character that is available there for free.
That's awesome, man. Any parting words of, say, wisdom for you, new, young rigging artists out there, or people just interested in rigging in Blender? What would you recommend to them?
Oh, I don't know, because I don't like rigging. That's why I did my blend rig thing, not to have to do things, again and again all over. I mean, well, I talked about this with Ileana, who is an apprentice of ours. Blender has like this tool set that is incredible with the constraints and the drivers and all that things. And the thing about rigging is that there's not only one way of doing things. You develop your own techniques and you mix the tools as you need to. And of course, you first have to, maybe read the Blender manual to know what each constraint does, and well, then play around with those things, and then it's just about developing your own techniques. And in my experience, I've been able to do whatever I needed to do. I've never encountered like limits in the possibilities. So yeah, that's nice about Blender, I guess. And if I had to say one other thing about my project is that I'm working right now in an Unreal ready rig. So I'll try to publish that. I don't know when, but so I hope that that's soon. So it will be a template, another template inside the Blender rig add-on that you can use and that will be compatible with the Unreal Mannequin. So yeah, that's nice.
Cool. We've got one question from the YouTube chat from Mateus. I have a question for Juan. How do you make weight painting less tedious?
Oh no, there's no way. There's no way of making it less tedious. That's why I say that I don't like rigging. I mean, what I like about rigging is the formation part and the end result of having, making the character alive. Because I have theory in which, actually when you do the rigging of a character, you are, giving life to the character. But the thing is that he stays in a coma. So then the animator has to come and, give personality to the character. But without the good rig, it's very hard that the animator will be able to, print that life into it. There's no way to make it less tedious. With mesh the form, the good thing is that you have this cage that has, very little vertices. So it gets easier to weight paint or to add shape keys, corrective shape keys. But then, at least in my rig, then the face is rigged only with bones. So I usually had to do that manually because I prefer to do it manually. There's an automatic weighting tools, but if you want to have control over what you're doing, you better do it manually. So yeah, I mean, that's why sometimes it takes a couple of days or even more to rig a character and to make it look professional.
Cool, man. Well, thank you again